hit it on motors, and this bike shows up. It's the only one. What's going on, guys? It's Juan here at Thrashin Supply, and today I'm going to talk to you about my 1999 Harley-Davidson CVO FXR3. This bike is really special. Some of you guys may know the FXR was ran from 1982 to 1994, and in 94, Harley-Davidson decided to stop production on this bike. The frames were too expensive to manufacture because they were all hand-built, and so they absorbed all of the FXR models into the newly released Dyna platform. But as the news got out, the Harley-Davidson enthusiasts were pretty bummed, and that made its way to the executives. And although they didn't do anything right then and there, they planned for a comeback, and the bike made a comeback for 2 years, 99 and 2000. So when the bikes made a comeback in 1999, they released them in two models, the FXR2 and FXR3. And later in 2000, they came out with the FXR4. I'm only going to talk about the FXR3 because that's what we have here, but feel free to do some research. All those bikes are pretty rare. For the FXR3, it was the first CVO Harley introduced in their lineup. All these bikes are really custom, all handmade, and they basically threw their whole parts and accessory catalog at these bikes. Everything was chromed on these. So let's start at the front, work our way back, and I'll show you all the special details that were put on this bike. So the reason why I chose this bike is because of its story. It was canceled in 94, then it came back in 99, and they came out swinging. All kinds of badass goodies on this. Chrome axle nut covers, chrome lowers, chrome top and bottom triple trees. All these were factory options on this bike, and they finished it off with the chrome swing arm. Custom flame paint job on the tank. That thing is freaking badass. Now you may think it's just green and black, but it's actually not. It's a deep olive in the black section. Again, that's a really custom touch. Really big thing you're gonna notice are these chrome Thunderstar mags. These are freaking epic and rare, and they came stock on this bike. That's another reason why I really wanted FXR3. This has the updated controls that ran from 99 to 2020 something. So that's really cool. They updated the cases on the Evo since this was the last generation of the Evo. They made a lot of updates, so these cases are a lot stronger, a lot better. They're definitely the more desirable of this engine type. And one last thing is that this bike has an updated wiring harness, so it's a lot simpler. It's got the Deutsch connectors, which make it a lot easier to work on. So that's what makes this one of the coolest FXRs ever made by Harley-Davidson. So let's get into what I did to make it mine. First things you're gonna notice is I have the stock headlight here in my hand. This is the CVO factory Harley-Davidson headlight. I just didn't like it. I wanted to swap it out for what you would see on the early 90s FXR. We went with the FXR Brow, FXR Bucket, but I put a modern headlight. This is from a 2025 Lowrider S. It gives it that old school traditional look, and it makes the bike, in my opinion, look a whole lot better. But I'm holding on to this. I'm not gonna get rid of it in case the bike needs to go back to stock later. Bars and risers, like I said earlier, this bike is very special, and I didn't want to change the original aesthetics of the bike. I went with our 6.5 pullback risers. These things look really clean on there, almost like it could have came factory on the bike. Personalizes it, makes it a little more to my liking. I paired those with our mid-bend bars. Again, this is from the styling of that era. It looks really clean. Went with chrome finish on both of them, and it just cleans up the look of the controls. I'm really stoked on how those came out. Finished up the bar setup with our OG Moto grips and a set of our Speedway bridge clamps. So next thing, foot controls. So this bike came with factory highway pegs, and I wanted to throw on our P54 Slims up there. Again, this is a really clean, sleek look, and these are very functional. I rode this bike to Sturgis. We put about 2,500 miles on it, and I was definitely using these. Really nice feature. Stoked on how that came out. For our foot pegs, I went with our OG P54s in chrome. Kind of goes with that styling of the bike. I went with our chrome adjustable shift linkage, as well as our chrome shift arm and our chrome Speedway shifter tip. I wanted to keep as much chrome as I could, but keeping it classy. So in terms of performance, this bike came equipped with the EB27 cam. Previous owner went ahead and did that for me. I'm stoked on that. I didn't have a lot of time to wrench on this bike before we left to Sturgis, so I threw on the Fueling BA Slim air cleaner. It still has a CB40 carb on there. I will eventually put Mikuni, but that's later down the road. For exhaust, I went ahead and threw on her OG 2-in-1 show polish. I love how it looks. It's clean, traditional looking, but it sounds freaking badass, and it cleans up the look of the bike. As we move towards the back of the bike, you're gonna notice this custom Thrashin Saddleman seat. I love the look of this seat. It looks freaking bitchin'. I also threw on these chrome Bitubos 13.5 shocks. They ride really good, give the bike a proper stance. The story on this bike, Lance and Cole and I were in Arizona, and we went to a Harley-Davidson dealership, walked into the showroom, and I saw not this bike, but one just like it, the same green flames, and I fell in love with that bike. I actually tried to make an offer on it, but it was on consignment at the dealership, and the dealership was like, you gotta ask the owner, and I hit up the owner, and they're like, you gotta make an offer to the dealer. So unfortunately, I couldn't make a deal, and the bike stayed there in Arizona, and I went home. I could not sleep. I was like obsessed with the FXR3. I was on Google doing research, finding images. I was finding this like rare artwork, and it just made me fall more in love with the bike, make it feel more rare to me. I had to have one. I was on Marketplace, I was on Craigslist, I was on OfferUp. Everything that you could buy and sell stuff, I was searching day and night. And the more I looked, the more I realized that these bikes were getting harder and harder to find. One of the nights, it was midnight, routine, searching FXR3 on Marketplace, eBay. As I'm about to fall asleep, think back to my eBay search, and I'm like, you know what? I was only getting parts in the results. And I switched it from eBay parts to eBay motors, and motors shows cars and bikes. I guess it was in the wrong thing where it was only looking for parts and accessories. Hit it on motors, and this bike shows up. It's the only one. I'm still like half asleep, but the adrenaline's pumping, and I'm waking up, and I'm like, oh gosh, it was more than what I wanted to pay. This has been consuming my life for the last 3 months. I need to do it. I made an offer, fell asleep, and when I woke up, the offer was accepted. So this bike actually came from New York. Previous owner took really good care of it, would store it in the temperature controlled environment in the off season when they weren't riding it for all the years they stored it. So that's why it's a New York bike, but it's in really good condition. There's a minimal rust on it. It's my job to keep looking after it really well, and I'm gonna continue that. I hope this is a forever bike for me. I never want to sell it. I think it's gonna be in my collection as long as I'm here. I love this thing. All right, enough talking. Let's fire this thing up, let you hear it, and take it out on the road. Guys, thank you for checking out my 1999 FXR bike check. We'll see you later.